Ask what the oldest shopping mall in southern Nevada is. Some people might guess the Meadows Mall. Most would probably go for the Boulevard, which is the correct answer. That is for existing malls. There was another, even older, on East Charleston at Bruce. By the time I would go to the Charleston Plaza Mall in the 70s, its heyday was over. But Las Vegans who were teens in the 50s and 60s remember it differently.
This was the place where all of us as kids would come and congregate. This was the mall back in the old days.
Steve Miller was a city councilman when News 3 stopped by in 1988. He was remembering an era when Richard and Elsie Goldsworthy ran a thriving operation.
It was the only shopping center.
Richard was brought in to open the new Fox Theater in '65. Soon Elsie ran the whole mall.
We'd been here a year and the manager was replaced and they wanted my husband to do it, but he'd worked for the theater for so many years that he didn't want to leave. So they said, well, would I be interested? I said, well, I'll try it. And 22 years later, I was still there.
A few years after the Goldsworthys became established, though, it became harder to find tenants.
Because then the Boulevard Mall opened.
So by 1988, there was still a library branch, a furniture store, but not a lot more.
The way the Charleston Plaza is right now, you could probably drive a pretty big truck right down the middle of it and not hit anyone. In fact, you may not even see anyone.
Well, you might see kids taking advantage of wide halls and sloping floors.
Oh yes, they used to skateboard in there down the ramp from Woolco. And we put a stop to it because we were afraid they were going to go through a window, because there were a lot of windows in there.
But even as retailers were struggling, the Fox Theater, by then the anchor, was very popular, the biggest in town with 846 seats.
And we had a lot of charitable events there, like for Judy Bailey at the Hacienda, and a big Superman premiere. There were a lot of activities going on.
In fact, if all of this is before your time, you may still recognize the Fox Theater sign.
It was built by Young Electric especially for the theater.
And today can be found in the Neon Boneyard downtown, where it made a guest appearance in the 1996 movie Mars Attacks.
This way! No, this way!
A great sign, a great theater, but the rest of the mall?
It's lost its attractiveness. And
Is this a dead shopping center?
I won't say it's dead, but it needs some help.
Well, that help came in the form of rebuilding the Charleston Plaza completely. You're looking at a live shot of it right now. It's all front access with no hallways today. It's fine, just not the social hotspot and community touchstone the way it once was. Richard Goldsworthy passed away in 1996. Steve Miller is still a local businessman. You've seen him in a couple of other video vaults just recently. And Elsie Goldsworthy today works at Void Gaming in their corporate accounting office. Dana and Kim?